All right, we are back. Right here on the page, we got the Sunday slate of picks from today. We went 4-4-5 so far. They're actually 4-for-4 so far, and we're just waiting for Puka. This is going to be for Monday night. I have a few plays, mostly in the Tampa Bay Eagles game, but then we're going to go right back to Puka for Monday night and double down on him, 65.5 yards. That line has not moved. So let's go right into some picks. Puka, he's my number one guy. Again, 65.5 yards, 119 in week one, 147 in week two. They are going against a better passing defense in Cincinnati, at least this year. But again, some people are calling for the regression. He's not gonna, he can't keep it up. Blah blah blah. I just think if you're getting 120 and 150 yards in your first two games, and obviously Cooper Kupp isn't available, he's stepped into that role. And maybe, yeah, sure, maybe he goes under 120 yards even, but his line is half of that. So we could see 80 yards. We could see 150 again. I just don't know. This guy is insane. He's been killing it, and Stafford just keeps finding him. So Puka, we're going to double down for Monday night. Next guy we're looking at, we're going to Mike Evans. 54.5 yards. Again, they are going up against Philadelphia, who last year was known for their passing defense. This year, they're literally dead last. Let's check what Outlier has to say here. Mike Evans. Let's go receiving yards. Obviously, he's been killing it this year so far. Huge reception in this game. 31st rank right now for the Eagles. They've had some defensive injuries as well, so that's helped in terms of this number. But yeah, Mike Evans. I think Tampa Bay again. They're +5 underdogs in this game. So if they're playing from behind down the stretch, that just goes even more into it. The Eagles again. They gave up 159 yards to Jefferson in week two. The Pats threw all over them. I think Mac Jones had 35 pass completions. Pats did it kind of by committee, but they don't have really that number one guy. Mike Evans is that guy for Tampa Bay, and they could do this in one play. Like we saw Kirk Cousins to Jordan Addison, the touchdown in week two versus the Vikings for the Eagles. So yeah, really loving Mike Evans here. 53.5 has minus 120 odds. I think it's 54.5 on PrizePicks. But yeah, really liking that play here. Staying in the same game, different side of the field here. We're going Rashad White's under. So just like we talked about Philadelphia's defense for the passing game, they do lock it up in terms of rushing. Let's just check out White on Outlier here. Rush yards. So again, he went over. He's 1 for 1 in terms of this year, 2023. 1 for 1 against Minnesota and Chicago. But yeah, Eagles give up the least amount of rush yards at 52 a game so far this year. So they have been slowing people down. They held Madison, I think, to 28 yards in week two. They held Ramondre Stevenson to 25 yards in week one against the Pats. And again, game script down the stretch here. The Tampa Bay should supposedly be down in this game, where they'll rely on the throwing over the rush. So liking all signs pointing towards the under for Rashad White here. Even if you look at the last 10 games, he's only gone over that in 30% of the games. So yeah, again, really liking Rashad here, game script wise, matchup wise. But yeah, really loving that. In terms of this game as a whole, again, we already went over Mike Evans. We already went over White. You could take a few different guys here. Obviously, the passing yards for Baker Mayfield, but I just like the Mike Evans play for passing, and again, Rashad White just pointed towards the under. And then yeah, our last guy, we're gonna go AJ Brown. You can go Devontae Smith in this play as well, but I think he's going to favor AJ Brown in this just because of their little spat. I'm talking about Hurts and Brown. They kind of had that beef going in the last week's game, So I think they kind of try to mend that on the field here, and I think Hurts kind of favors Brown in this matchup. Tampa Bay's given up. Here we'll go to check out AJ Brown as well. But yeah, Tampa Bay has given up about 250 yards per game, so they haven't been doing too well. Yeah, 26th ranked, 277.5. I think this has a little bit of value from last year as well, just because there's only been 2 games so far this year. But I really think this 29 obviously is an outlier. I think he's going to bounce back heavily. As you can see, this isn't 29 yards is not what AJ Brown is. And again, I think they mend fences on the field. I think AJ Brown has a big game. So yeah, and again, even the matchup is pointing towards the over here. So again, 67.5 on outlier, 68.5 on PrizePicks. So people are liking the over, at least on PrizePicks here. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. 4 plays, only 2 games tomorrow, obviously. But yeah, let's keep it rolling with NFL here. And yeah, it's super late right now, as you can see. I think I'll post this probably just once I finish this up. I was thinking about scheduling it. But I'll get it out to you guys if there's any West Coast people or people up really late. But that's going to do it for me. Should be a fun game tomorrow. Kind of definitely watch this Eagles Tampa Bay game. But yeah, let's root for these picks. Let's all make some money together. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And that's going to do it. Peace out.